So I'm just going to do a quick demonstration of using rescue mode. Not a lot of people will use this, but basically I've already got the system installed. My concern is I just want to... Oh shit, I fucked that up. Don't talk and work at the same time. Let's go back. Okay. Configure the network. Okay, host name. That's our actual host name. Okay, here we go. So I installed this without setting my root password properly. So we're gonna try to fix that. Okay, file system. I'm gonna mount the boot system. Okay. I'm gonna try executing a shell. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, good, we're in root. That's what we wanted. So this is beautiful because I can instantly be in the root file system. Now, if I didn't encrypt the drive, this whole system would have been susceptible. But it's encrypted. I had to enter my passphrase. So now I can boot a rescue shell, and it's gonna boot me in as root, which is what I want. So we're gonna change the password of root. So that I can actually get into my system. So instead of, you know, completely reinstalling because I accidentally set the wrong root password, I just had to enter rescue mode and decrypt the drive and then launch a shell as a root. And just like that, password root, I could change it. Very helpful. So we get used to that. And you could actually put a rescue boot image on the recovery partition. That's actually advisable. Or you can just put a live working system as well. And you can sort of assess the other system from the unencrypted version. Okay, so we'll go back. This is done, and yes, I'm gonna exit the shell. Okay, now we reboot the system, just like that. And you can reinstall grub. So fixing fstab. Usually, like if you have a broken grub or a broken fstab, you'll use that, and you know, you can go in and edit the etc/fstab file, and you can try to fix some of the errors that you have there. And if that's not the case, as long as you're able to mount, like from a live system, mount the encrypted partitions of your logical volumes, you more or less have the ability to go in and fix things from a live boot. So fstab is a common thing to fix. Another common thing is the grub got destroyed. Like, let's say you, I don't know, created a kernel image, or did the, like, you ran a grub command in your system, or you generated a new init read image. Those are some things that can make your system unbootable. So what you would do for that is go into your live boot, and then you would just enter the command grub2config, and it's kind of like this. Or there's other ones, but you just use the grub2 commands, and I'll do a separate video on it. But rescue shell is kind of the same thing, but you don't always get everything you need out of it. But this rescue shell allowed me to change my root password. So this error is that your first user is not getting placed as a sudoer. This is normal in Debian 11. So you need to have that root first, and then you need to actually add your user to sudoers. So we're gonna change the boot order. So you actually didn't see the end of my last video, but I installed Debian fresh install. I didn't type my root password properly, so I kind of screwed myself over. I'm like, well, shit, I don't want to have to reinstall Debian again, so I just booted a rescue mode instead. So this is just kind of lucky, actually, that I'm gonna demonstrate it. So we changed the boot order, and we're gonna power it off and then power it on. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna skip to another video. This was a little side clip, just showing that I, recovered my root password. Pretty nifty to just have a rescue shell. You can put that on a separate partition, live boot, or just use a Debian installer. And as long as you know your drive passphrase, you can get in as root. Which should go to show you should probably encrypt your file system, because if you don't, a rescue shell can basically access the whole thing. So definitely always encrypt your partition, your whole file system. Just do it. Except of course the boot folder is the one thing that you need to leave open. Okay. So now that we've unlocked the drive, we can go to our Mac, and we're going to redo this SSH root, or sorry, copy ID. So we copied our SSH key to user, and now we want to copy it to root as well. Okay, looks like it was already installed. Okay, well, let's head in here. Oh, I know what's happening. SSH's root is turned off. That's what it is. Okay, so we're gonna try something. We're gonna try to edit the SSHD. So we're gonna go sudo nano setter SSH SSHD config. Alright, and we don't have sudo. Okay, we're gonna try to just do it as nano. See if it's gonna force anything. Yeah, okay, we're good. So this was actually it's unwritable. Okay, so we're gonna go in the shell, the rescue shell again, and we're gonna, let me just check if that was our issue. Yeah, so permit root login is off by default. That's our issue. So we're gonna go in the rescue shell, and we're gonna actually edit that file and let ourselves SSH in. Okay. So as you can see, we have this line here. Okay, this is not in the Sudoers file. This is on every new install. So we can't sudo, which means we can't become root, and we can't SSH in as root because of the SSHD config. So we actually have to either be in the system, but I'm trying to do everything like not through their VNC window. So we're gonna do it instead with the rescue shell. So we changed root password, but that wasn't actually our issue. SSHD is the reason why I can't SSH as root. But I mean, if you typed your root password in wrong, the rescue shell is how you're gonna basically not have to reinstall the whole system again. And you can just execute a shell as root. Okay, so we have this final kicker as well, which is going to be a title of a separate video that I put in, called "User is not in the Sudoers file, help." Okay, yeah, that's going to be a common thing actually. So what we're going to do for that is we're going to go to the graphical rescue mode. And it's just going to automate the steps that we need. So the issue is you're not in the Sudoers file. You can't become root if you're not in the Sudoers file, and you can't SSH into the server as root when SSHD is turned off. So we're gonna work with those steps in reverse. We're gonna make it so that we can SSH as root, and in case we've messed up our root password, we do that here as well. But since we've already, confirmed that, we're just gonna go back in and edit this SSHD config. So again, if I didn't know the passphrase, this would not be possible, but I do, thankfully. Okay, so we're gonna mount file system. And yep, we have a separate boot partition. And let's execute a shell. Okay, now we go nano, etc. SSH, SSHD, config. And we need this on. Permit login. Prohibit password is not going to work for now. So we need to say yes. And we'll just we'll turn off strict modes, because this actually becomes a problem in other cases. No. We'll get max authentication tries. I'll just do 10 just in case. Max sessions, we're gonna make sure that's nice and reasonable so we can execute lots of shells. 10's enough for most people, but I'm gonna do 20 just because that's like if you're transferring files with CyberDuck and you want to transfer 20 things at once, you're gonna need that. We don't, oh yeah, our listen address. So, if you want to SSH over Tor, you can actually listen at 127.0.0.1, port 22, and then create a hidden service. And when you SSH, your host name is going to be to a Tor address. Pretty nifty. I'm not going to really do that just yet, but maybe in another video I'll show doing SSH over Tor. And then we're going to allow some of this nice and early. So I'm going to do public key. And then we're going to do password yes for now so that we can copy our keys. And then we're going to turn SSH to password no. And that prevents anyone from accessing your server who doesn't have your private key. So we're going to do yes. And we're going to do empty passwords now. Well, actually, it doesn't matter. I'm going to leave the PAM on. And then just some final things that becomes relevant later. Just because I'm running a web server and doing remote view, we're going to allow agent forwarding, allow TCP forwarding, gateway ports, we're going to do yes. X11 forwarding, we're going to need that. It's already on, but that's for to be able to use a remote viewer. Print message of the day. You know what? I do custom ones. I'm going to allow that. I'm going to do print last log no, just so that I don't leave traces of my IP address when I've logged in before. TCP keep alive. Keep that on because that's just going to help maintain connections, especially if you're doing FTP. We're going to permit user environment. That just helps us so that when we are remote viewing, we can actually change users easily. And then I don't think any of this is an issue. No, we'll permit a tunnel. I think this can sometimes help us on VPNs, which I do make VPNs with my servers, so I'm gonna leave that as well. And that's it. We don't need any of this stuff. Okay, now we're gonna go sudo system control restart SSHD. Running in CH or ignoring restart. Okay. You know what? Service. SSHD restart. If that even means anything. No, it doesn't matter. Okay. We're just gonna go back. So this has allowed us to SSH as root. In case, you know, I've screwed up my password, I'll do this again. Because I tend to type fast and make typos. That's how I destroyed my system. A little typo. So I'm gonna password root. I'm gonna make this small for now, so I don't screw it up. Okay, now we're done. Okay, I'm gonna reboot. And I'm gonna change drives. And then shut down and reboot from the hard drive. So keep in mind, you won't SSH until you've decrypted your file system partition. So this is why I'm still using the VNC in the hosting website. It's because I actually can't access it without decrypting first over their VNC. But once I install Dropbear, I'll be able to do that. So we're going to enter our passphrase. Okay, and then it's decrypted, and we'll let it boot. I'm going to redo this copy ID command, and this time it really should let us go in with our changed password. There we go. So it copied my ID. Now I'm gonna SSH in. Satori net root. That's what I had saved in my config file. And now it's gonna choose my public key because I've set that as my identity. Or my private key actually. There we go. Now we're in as root. So we're going to go in, now that I know that I have my SSH key copied in, we're going to redo that etc. SSH file. SSHD config. Not super su. Sudo su. We need sudo nano. So be careful with this step, because if you screw it up, you're gonna lock yourself out. Make sure that you copy your ID, your SSH keys, and be really sure of what you're doing. If you've copied it over and you're like not gonna delete that public key from the server, and you have your private key, like, you know, on your home server, like safe, then you should be okay to do this. So I turn off password, and that just makes sure that the only way that I can get into the server is with a private key. So it locks all attempts to SSH the server without your SSH keys. Very secure. So we'll go like this. We'll also sudo system control, restart SSHD. And there we go. Now it's done. I trust myself, so I'm just going to exit. And then I'm going to redo it. SSH Satori net root. It'll ask for my keys. And there we go. I'm in. Nobody will ever get in with a password, only with keys, because I shut that off. But I can get in perfectly fine. So it's done. We'll stop the video there. That's just solving the, oh right, what was I thinking? We had to do the Sudoers file. So we have to go to sudo nano etc Sudoers. So we have root, and our user is not here. So we're gonna add our user, our main user at least. And go all equals all hyphen all, or yeah, you know, you can see what I'm doing. And then all. And that's all we had to do. There we go. Go exit. And let's SSH Satori net as user. Okay, it was only with SSH key. And now let's try this. Sudo su. Voila. Not in the Sudoers file. Fixed. All I had to do was add in etc. Sudoers, just like this. Sudoers. And I just, you know, same as where root is. I just did an example, like I'll tab it over so you can see just everything on the right is the same. I just added my main user and it's done. So like that. Now I exit. I'm as my user. I exit again. I'm as my Mac. Just like that. So we went over fixing the not in the Sudoers file issue, SSHing in as root, and using the rescue shell to change our root password. All in one video. Pretty good stuff. Cheers. We're gonna go back to our video series and start covering installing Dropbear and setting up our system. Thanks for watching.